I have the right to privacy.
Or do you? A Michigan teacher, Kimberly Hester, certainly thought she had a right to privacy, but after her school district was notified of an odd picture posted on her Facebook page, the superintendent made a strange request.
He asked me 3 times if he could view my Facebook, and I repeatedly said that I was not okay with that.
Hester's story is not unique, not by a long shot. In fact, she was later suspended for not giving the superintendent her username and password. Still, that doesn't make what was asked of her okay.
Just like you wouldn't let an employer go through your diary or your text messages, that employer shouldn't be allowed to go through your Facebook pages.
Senator Charles Schumer out of New York is proposing legislation concerning Facebook privacy for both current employees and prospective ones.
Things that we deem private are just that, private. You shouldn't be required to give up your right to private communications. You shouldn't be required to give up your private life just to get a job.
Political and legal professionals agree. Employers may be using the tough economy to their advantage, asking for information that they have no right to see.
In this economy, if a potential employer or even a current employer asks for that information, who's going to say no, right? Who's going to say, no, I'm not going to give you that information if my job is on the line or a potential job is on the line. And so the issue really comes in where there's that coercion factor.
While lawmakers play catch-up with social media sites like Facebook, it's up to you as the user to safeguard what you consider to be private.
Anything that can be searched publicly isn't private. Whether we conceive of it culturally as private or not, if I can get on Google and enter your name and find that status or that picture, then it isn't private. It isn't protected by any rights of privacy or anything like that. But if you have to have some special access in order to see that picture or that posting, then there is some expectation of privacy.
There is a dangerous trend growing in Cincinnati. 11 years worth of crime statistics show violent crimes are expected to increase in 2012. But the city's police department is ready, using a new age confidential informant to track down the criminals.
It's an endless source of information. People just post anything.
Oh, you heard it right. Post, as in those status updates, pictures, videos posted on popular social media sites like Facebook.
We've had people filming themselves robbing people, and they put it on the internet. We've had people just get out of the courthouse, and then within an hour, they're broadcasting on YouTube and have a gun.
Social media has become such a vital tool in police investigation. The Cincinnati Police Department is one of very few in the country that has created a special unit called the Real-Time Crime Center. The center often patrols those Facebook pages, looking for a criminal's last move and next move.
People are, fairly free with the information they'll put on some of those sites, and by doing so, we were able to look in on some of those sites and are able to glean information off of that on maybe offenses they've committed, maybe videos they've posted to those sites. You can find a lot of useful information.
And it's that information that helps the department stay one step ahead of the criminal.
If you're not doing that, then you could be missing something. If you're not checking those leads, checking those sites and stuff, then you may only have a small piece of the puzzle that you can gather a lot more.
So how is it legally possible to get so much incriminating evidence off of Facebook? Understandably so, officers don't really want to say, but legal professionals offer us a little insight.
Anything that's available to the public obviously can be searched, right? Whether that's by the police or by a potential employer, by anyone. If it's available to the public to be searched, it can be searched.
Here's a tale of two teens, Jessica Logan and Corey Paul. Both public school students, she in Cincinnati, Corey here in Lima. Another commonality, both were bullied ruthlessly at school. Jessica at Sycamore High and Corey at Shawnee. But it didn't stop there. The constant harassment continued over electronic media. Venomous words spit at both teens. Jessica couldn't handle it.
She snapped. It was just too much for an 18-year-old girl to go through.
Her mother was the one to find Jessica's body in 2008, weeks before her high school graduation. She had hanged herself in her closet. Corey had enough after his freshman year and transferred to another district. He tells us a little of what his life was like back then, just about 2 years ago.
It made me feel horrible, like I'd go to bed. Sometimes I even went to bed like after school. I had mood swings like crazy. Like, I'm sorry for it, but I just didn't know how to handle it.
The teens begged for help.
I went to the police and they didn't do anything. I went to the school, they didn't do anything.
Even their parents got involved.
The police department didn't protect her. The school didn't protect her. She had no one.
You went to the school and told them what was going on, and they said.
There's nothing we can do about it.
And you went to the police department, and they said.
There's nothing we can do about it.
And you went to this kid's mother, and she said.
There's nothing we can do about it.
Here's the problem, that little thing called freedom of speech.
In the absence of a state actor saying, you can't do that, in the absence of the coercion of the government saying, you can't do that, we don't have a First Amendment problem.
Insert state actor. Senator Joe Schiavone, a Democrat out of Youngstown, co-sponsored the Jessica Logan Act, signed into law by Governor John Kasich.
Basically, the bill would bolster the bullying policies in school. That would be you would be able to discipline for bullying that occurs at bus stops. You'd be able to discipline for bullying that occurs over the internet, via text. All the electronic means within school. It also would require that the school come up with a bullying policy regarding all of those issues and then send that home to the parents once a year so that parents understand what cyberbullying is. You can't change how every kid is going to treat every other kid in the state of Ohio. But what we can do is we can help, and we can help educate not only the kids that it's wrong and it's not going to be tolerated, but also the parents so that the parents can talk to their kids about this.